Pastor Tunde Bakare, a former vice presidential aspirant, he said he will list the true enemies of Nigeria. He's the general overseer of the Latter Rain Assembly. Pastor Tunde Bakare on Sunday disclosed the true enemies in Nigeria. Pastor Tunde Bakare, in a statement on his verified Twitter page, said the true enemies are found in every level of government, from the local to the state to the federal levels, and in every arm of government in Nigeria. He noted that those who partake of the loot, celebrate looters, are the true enemies among the people. Bakare urged Nigerians in his new decade to stand up against the true enemies highlighted in a statement at all levels rather than attack journalists who criticize the government. The statement reads: a few days from now, on January 15, we will observe Armed Forces Day, a day earmarked to honor Nigerians' fallen heroes in commemoration of the end of the Nigerian Civil War. Fellow Nigerians, the true enemies of our nation are found at every level of government, from the local to the state to the federal levels, and in every arm of government. They can also be found on the streets, in households, and also in the marketplace. As it is with leadership, so it is with the citizenry. Leaders and citizens have their citizenship in common. They are drawn from amongst us and are a reflection of our basset's instincts or our highest ideals as every level of government. And that's what I oftentimes say, that the reflection of the government we have is just a mirror of the citizens, typical citizens in that contraption called Nigeria. And I oftentimes say we have exceptional people living in that same contraption called Nigeria. So when you see certain politicians behave in certain ways, you should know that they also came from a nucleus, they also came from a family, and they also have a religion, either Islam, either they are traditional worshippers of some deities, or they are Muslims. They are family, they have families too. So all of these people came, they also have friends. Many of them might have gone to a different school because some of them were able to school abroad. Yes, some of them might have had it much more better, but they all have the same kind of mindset. Even when they live abroad and they come back, they are drawn into that quagmire, they are drawn into that dirt that some of those typical people living in that contraption called Nigeria have already created. And it is so difficult for them because they do not have their integrity is not so important to them. So it's easy for the dirt to get them into itself and they become the same thing. So he went further to say, in Nigeria, the vast majority of our people regularly take turns perpetuating the cycle of corruption, either as beneficiaries or benefactors. These enemies in citizens' clothings are those who choose to be spectators while the nation goes down the drain on their watch. Those perverts on the pulpit who hide under the togas of godliness to manipulate the vulnerable. Those economic behemoths who window dress their underhandedness with filthy philanthropy. Those who are perpetually not on seat because they can't come and go and die. Those who partake of loot and celebrate looters from the same ethnic group or religious organizations. Those who say of the looters, we know say na thief, but this thief na our thief. These are the true enemies of Nigeria. This is the things that I keep repeating every time. Every time I keep repeating the same thing, that the mirror, the reflection of the leaders is exactly what typical Nigerians are, because oppression lies at their doorstep. Oppression is their own tool. In their own little way, they oppress people. So when they give them the platform to become either governor, president, senators, local government chairman, honorable, house of rep, whatever it is, once they're given that opportunity, you begin to see that characteristics begin to, it begin to pour out of them. like a tap that has no control. They begin to oppress, begin to steal, they begin to loot. So it's a difficult thing to find someone that will say, you know what, enough is enough. I am going to cut off from this government because this government is not following the mandate that we all agreed. You will never find many of them do so. While the reason why many of these things are so is because certain structures have not been put in place. Maybe on paper it is put in place. Certain structures have not been put in place. In a senate climb, even when you speak through to power and you are kind of you kind of drop your portfolio and you say, you know what, I'm not going to work this any longer, you still get your pension, you still get your money being paid. But because they've destabilized everything, pensioners have to queue to get money, ordinary citizens as they've made them to be, while they get pension as ex-governor, get pension as ex-senators. I have never seen a system where this kind of thing works. How can you get pension as a ex-governor and you're still getting pension as you are still a sitting senator and you are getting money being paid? Where is these things? Where are these things done? How can you be getting pension or gratuity or whatever it is as an ex-governor and yet you still get money as a sitting senator? What kind of system is this? I thought pension or gratuity comes after you finish working. These are civil servants supposed to be. They are supposed to be civil servants. So it means that there is no way that that state will be paying you if you are still working. If you are still working as a senator, you don't get no money paid by any state or by anyone to you because you're working, you're still earning. But that is not the case because they do not obey the rule of law. There is no punitive measure that is actually giving out strong punitive measures that has no regard for creed, religion, tribe, party. They don't have any of that. All they are concerned about is how to destroy and ridicule and mock the citizens. As the system is just so bad. It's just so bad that I don't know if what kind of how if is there's going to be an overhaul or what is going to actually happen. It just requires the citizens themselves coming together as one and deciding on their future. And I think that future is not going to come later. The future is already now. So it went further to say these enemies are also pastors. They are perverts. They are on the pulpit. They hide under the togas of godliness. They manipulate their members, fake healing, and fake prophecies on who to vote for, and all of those nonsense that we oftentimes hear. So they are all over the place. And also among the citizens, they are the ones that also celebrate criminals, celebrate looters. Oh, he's an Igbo man, he's a Yoruba man, he's Hausa, is middle belt. So if Madwike steals, so what about the Buhari? What about those ones that steal? That is why the things is like that. These people are stealing for themselves. They are not stealing for you. Your life is where you are. Your children might end up not having a better life, but their own children will always keep having better life. And you have used your own brainwashed mind to support them. That's why. So he went on to say at the state level, at the local level, the true enemies of our nation are those agents of oppression who place excruciating multiple tax burdens on often defenseless Nigerians. At the state level, the true enemies of Nigeria are those state governments that feed fat on unaccounted for security votes, those who deploy the paraphernalia of office in their selfish interests rather than in the service of the people, those who convince with zonal political oligarchs to personalize and privatize the state, those who deploy the force of state to quell dissent, those who give critics an excuse to postulate that if state governments are already abusing the little power they currently wield, what would they do if we devolve yet more powers to them? These power-drunk state officials are the true enemies of Nigeria. At the zonal level, the enemies of Nigeria are those who have perverted their influence and turned the states within their zones of influence into personal estates. They are the political puppeteers who rig the system to enthrone their stooges and use them to corner resources and opportunities. That is what they call the godfatherism system, where a sitting governor is having issues with the past governor. You will wonder why. Why should you be having problems with the past governor? If you've done your time, face your own project, whatever you're doing in your life, and don't continue to. But you know what it is? It's all about cornering resources. They are the political bandits and pseudo democrats who are maniacal in merchandising the will of the people, from masterminding vote buying to engineering seemingly spontaneous outbreaks of political violence. These are the true enemies of Nigeria. At the federal level, the true enemies of Nigeria are in every arm of government. In the judiciary, they are the judges who pervert justice and auction judgments to the highest bidder. In the legislature, they are those legislators who rob the nation under the guise of constituency projects and are quick to pass laws that undermine our national freedom, thereby threatening our national stability. In the executive arm of government, the enemies of our nation are those who deploy the machinery of state against helpless citizens, who those who serve rather than those who serve themselves rather than the people. These are the true enemies that we must stand up against, not the angry young fellow who throws salvos at Mr. President hoping to get few retweets, not the journalist who stares the government squarely in the face, and certainly not the dissenting voice in the midst of sycophants. The trust of the new decade that commences this year 2020 must be to once again come together as one people to wrest the soul of Nigeria from the jaws of the bear and the mouth of the lion, and to begin to build a great nation. This exactly are what Pastor Tunde Bakare lists as the enemies of Nigeria. So are you part of them from the characteristics that has just been highlighted? If you are, then what else? What next do you want to do? So guys, that's just what it is for now. If you're not a member of this channel, kindly tap on the subscription button and the red notification icon bell below. It will alert you whenever videos are uploaded. And if you are already subscribed to this channel, I say a very big thank you for the support.